Yeah, what's up? You see my old biscuit head self right now. This is YouTube directed video, so I'm gonna be responsible about the words that I use. And it's interesting that you kind of got to self-center in order to do the business, but there's something different, right? Okay, this right here is important when it comes to the parasites in the culture, in the culture of hip hop, to be specific. Um, and in relation to what I've seen as a new documentary from a guy, the link will be in the description. In the position that he took to take one of these young guys, peel their life apart for the sake of the music, and deliver this documentary. And I truly understand what he was trying to say with this work, and I understand that the the language and position that this young rapper took before his untimely demise was a dysfunctional, destructive culture. You know, it caused a lot of mayhem and havoc. And I would like to offer an extended empathy to the families of those that were affected by this young man's decisions. But what's interesting is it's sort of like a sordid um, glorification, because the people that we're talking about didn't necessarily get the recognition until they were claimed to be the realest and claimed to be the hardest out and stuff like that. And that's our fault. That's our fault as consumers to accept that type of behavior as something that can be rewarded, because like I always say, it turns into a model of success for other people to follow. But here's the disingenuous thing, is that you don't really get to meet the people and understand what the inner workings of the politics are. And that's unfortunate, because there are heavier messages that could be displayed there. I mean, conveyed. There are certain nuances that once we open, it can cause even more mayhem in the after effect. Just to get a better understanding of why this stuff even is in existence, would be a better approach. And this is what turns the journalistic integrity of it into sensationalism. And always somebody that's outside of the culture, you know, and not to say that they can't enjoy it or even, learn from it and prosper from it. But what I mean is, there are people that live this every day, and they're reflective of the situation, and they do not get the traction that quote unquote outside influences get. And that's always been the problem in hip hop. It's always been the problem. Um, and of course, yeah, this is a capitalist country. You make an opportunity wherever you can find it, and do your best to, hopefully, as a good businessman and somebody of a character of integrity, you do your best to level the playing field. Make sure all parties are satisfied, right? But no, a true optimistic doesn't really concern themselves. Actually, they'll find ways to uh, get loopholes not to truly be involved with the conflict that they're sucking from, and that's definitely unfortunate, because now, since the awareness is out there, they can use whatever solutions you may have and be open to it. you know and no shouts out, like I said, no shouts out to, you're gonna make your money, I understand. And you have a brand to build, but you gotta at least, hear and take court with those that are, directly affected, on both sides, on all sides. and then really see it from a hip hop perspective. Like, if you really love the art, you should know straight up that, one of the worst things that happened to it were people that were parasites from the outside, sucking the lifeblood from, actually creative artists. Up to the point where you don't even get the music that you loved anymore. And you fall back to the trap of people sensationalizing the destruction and dysfunction. If we're truly if we're truly uh, focused on getting rid of that element, I would implore you to do, anyone out there that, do a documentary on those people that are making positive results, in these hotbed, areas like New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, the Bay, and Louisiana. There's so much rich, great guided artists that do not get the traction because in our little sadistic ways we love the destruction and violence. All right, but because a person says something on the record doesn't make it true. You gotta understand that, and put that into context. Because somebody says it on the record doesn't make it true. It doesn't make them valid. Real investigations have to go on. Unfortunately, some of these young people are putting their charges right on Front Street. Yeah, that's true. But it's not the rule in general. Like I said, they've seen a success model out of it, and they're taking advantage. Some of them even embellishing further. Now I definitely would say that it's up to the community. It's up to the people in the areas to stand up and speak out about those that are doing massive damage to your neighborhood, to your community, straight up and down. The blind eye accepts it. They accept it if they don't use their voice. And, yeah, some of these things got to get checked. A lot of the stuff got to get checked. There's no eldership that's respected enough for some of these young characters to slow down. Then, on top of that, they already have these broken spirits. It's like everybody lied to them. You gotta really look at it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody lied to them, and the only way that they felt any type of acceptance was amongst people that were trying to strive like them, but not having the work ethic to wait 5-10 years. So they'll settle for a 2-year run, and some of them just want to get a rep, as Guru would say from Gangstar. Some of them just want to get a rep, get their name out there, get the name out and a reputation out, so they can walk a certain way and wear what they want to wear and talk how they want to talk, and be accepted amongst a crew or a group of broken individuals. You know what I'm saying? So the young man that he made the documentary about, that was a broken young man. I would have liked for him to go even further into what made that man, what made that young man make these decisions. What is Chicago breeding? What is Atlanta breeding? What is America breeding? Because most importantly, when we really piece it together, this type of attitude, this function that is totally bringing billions of dollars in, is an American-made thing. It's an American-made thing, and I tackled that on the show before, and it is what it is. So, like I said, no hard feelings. Of course, you're going to get your money, and I'm not dismissing the rest of his work. The rest of his work is satisfactory. It's good, but it's just disheartening to see that there are other people who make just as good work, some even better, but because of who they are and what all that translates into, they don't get the same traction. So yeah, I do say it's incumbent on you to mention those people if you use them as references, or even if you soaked up some game from them. It's good to boom. Yeah, this one right here gave me the idea. This one right here, he's doing good work too. It's just it'll form a bigger network. Oh, but you're not entitled to that. You don't have to do it. I understand. And then what really gets me is there are people that will go to bat for that person just off the rip, just like because they like the previous work. They developed this cult like mentality. Instead of ironing out the issues, the first thing is, oh, why you say that about that person? Da, 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 da. You don't know him either. You don't know that guy either. And even if you did, right? Everybody has an opinion. Is that right? It's more sides to this. Look, okay. To wrap this all up, yes, watch the documentary. I would say, it'll be good to have a drive to help the young man's children not turn out the same way. It'll be good to have an awareness drive to some of the people that's really doing good, positive things in the community, especially of that young man. And it'll be good to visit the people that have been directly affected from this documentary by this young man's actions. True Omega Son, The Block, repping The Block Radio, Instagram, check them out. Salute.